Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the DC Direct Super Friends Robin and the Riddler Deluxe action figure set. Based on the classic animated TV series, you get Batman's sidekick. You also get the Master of the Riddlers, the Master of Riddles, thank you. You get Riddler. On the side, the Riddler, criminal genius. That sounds a lot better than what Spot came up with. On the other side, the boy wonder, Robin. Turn around on the back. Set includes mind device for the Riddler, miniature Batmobile. Each figure comes with a Super Friends base. As the younger half of the dynamic duo, Robin knows a few tricks for solving even the toughest crimes, especially when all clues lead to the Riddler. But his criminal genius has more up his sleeve than childish pranks and may surprise the boy wonder with a riddle he won't be expecting. Bum, 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 bum. Other figures that you can get from the Super Friends sets. We have ourselves Superman and Lex Luthor right there. We have Wonder Woman and Cheetah, Green Lantern and Sinestro, Aquaman and Black Manta, and finally, Batman and Scarecrow. All incredible sets. And if you are wondering, this is the sets, or actually these sets I think I mentioned as a whole, they're all from 2003. It's just one of these things that Spot had packed away for a while and just recently found. I was going through my stuff, I pulled out a box, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I had these. Anyways, needless to say, we're totally going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Robin and the Riddler. Stay tuned, there is more on the way. All the Super Friends sets, the 2-pack sets, come with Super Friends display bases, as Spot's already indicated in the other reviews that I've shot. Really love the display base, as I've already mentioned as well in these reviews. And really don't want to say too much more aside from the fact that, yes, 4 holes on either side. Technically the peg, or the peg hole, actually is only on this one side of the character's leg. So having it over here, I don't understand why, but I'm not going to take that away from these really neat display bases. Even if you don't use them for these figures, hold on to these, because I would say these would be real gold to even use them for like your DC Universe figures. So I won't say too much more about that because I've already mentioned these already a couple of times now. So you get 2 of them, and they somewhat stack together as well, so if you want to kind of keep them together and keep them away, easy to store. Moving those aside, you also get yourself a really neat Super Friends Batmobile. Pretty good representation. It even has a steering wheel in there. Can you see it? Right in there. Steering wheel. Or peace sign. Upside down peace sign. Or flux capacitor. But the Batmobile has it. On the side, a very retro, right there, retro bat symbol. It has tires, but it's technically just a PVC plastic piece. It doesn't really move or anything like that. Some really neat headlights on the front. I didn't notice this right away, but that even has its little bat head going on there, little eyes. Yeah, you can't go wrong with something like this. This is just awesome. Like the little windows here, the back thruster. No section, I'm sure, for parachutes, but that's only when they need to make an emergency stop. Yeah, definitely love this. And lastly, you get yourself a mind device. It is very, very dated, but I have nothing really bad to say about it. Some nice color, some silver, you got some yellow and some red going on there. It looks like also something you would see on the kitchen wall in the Jetsons house. Maybe this would be some automatic coffee maker, or something would pop out and then prepare eggs, or maybe this would probably tie George's tie. You know, just these robotic hands would come out and tie his tie before he goes to work. I don't think he wore a tie, but just assuming for the sake of this story he wore a tie, this would totally make his tie. And that pretty much then brings us to the figures, and one of these figures I really love, one of these figures not so much. You want to guess which one is which? Okay, let's first have a look at Robin. He is essentially a standard Robin figure. Well, I shouldn't say standard. He is in the Super Friends style. I find his face, now while I do like his body, and I think for the most part he's done well, I really don't like the face. The face is just so bland, so generic, whole lot of nothing going on. I think the paint, as I've mentioned with all the other reviews, I think the paint is solid on these figures, but there's just something about Robin here that just seems so bland. You know, for the fact that we've got Aquaman that was smiling, Superman kind of had his own thing going on here. You think as the boy wonder, Robin would be doing something. Didn't we even get like a smiling Robin in the DC Universe wave? And yet this Robin is so serious. This is like Robin who's, I don't know what he's doing. He's at the library, he's studying. I don't know, it's just boring. It's just really, really boring. Yellow is always one of the harder colors to paint on a figure, because generally you always see bleed. For the most part, the yellow is done well. Like it's a little like tacky looking. Like it looks like it's not completely dry. It is dry, but it kind of has that look to it. He's got his pointed shoes, his little elf shoes, bearskin legs. That's Robin for you. And of course the Robin logo there. All nicely done. Like on a paint wise, I got nothing really bad to say about Robin. But his head is just a little awkward. It's really long too. Like he's got a really long head. It seems to me like his head should be a little shorter. And definitely, come on Robin, at least smile. At least smile for everybody out there. Articulation. Robin has a swiveled head. Swivels at the neck actually. He has pin and socket shoulders. His arms also go back and forward. Bend at the elbow. Nothing in the glove, however. Nothing in the waist, along with all the other Super Friends figures. But then the legs go forward and back now. Unfortunately, his leg doesn't go too far forward because he's got this piece from his top actually impeding that. You can't actually move his leg very much. That's about all you can move him. So maybe, you know, he's just briskly walking. He's not running. Batman's expecting this guy's going to run. He can forget it. And then lastly, he's got a bend in the knee. I think of all the Super Friends figures from the DC Direct line, Robin by far is the most disappointing. That he's just well executed, but he's just bland. He's just so bland. Robin, I hate to tell you, my friend, you're totally going to get a 5.5. Better luck next time, my friend. Better luck next time. Putting Robin down, he's a little awkwardly posed as well, so you kind of have to bend the legs to get in the stand. I'm hoping he's not going to fall. Stay. So we can already gauge that Spot was not really a big fan of this figure, so that would then mean that Spot really loves this figure. That would be correct. Riddler is awesome. I have nothing bad to say about this figure. This figure perfectly captures the iconicness of the character from the cartoon. He's got a devilish smile. I love that one eyebrow up. It even looks like his eyes are much wider, like he's just, you know, he's very happy with himself. He's done some, you know, mind-bending riddle that he thinks Batman and Robin will not solve, but yet somehow, for what little information that Riddler provides in his riddles, Batman will solve it. Riddle me this, Batman. I am flat and cannot move. Your chair. Oh, how'd he get that? I know flat and chair doesn't really make sense. But anyways, I really like this figure quite a bit. Now, to me, this is a good example when all the times that Spot has mentioned the DC Universe figures, why they can't have expression. I always feel like the DC Universe figures never capture a really good essence of the character because they always got their mouths closed. They always kind of just have a blank look on their face. Even as a comparison, if I had it, which he's packed away somewhere, but if I had the Riddler, thank you, from the DC Universe wave that was in this attire, I would love to have actually had a comparison between the two. Obviously, the other one is much beefier, which makes no sense to me. This Riddler is muscular, but he's got an average build. But definitely where this figure does well that the DC Universe figures just have yet to really do is capture an incredible expression. Oh, I wish DC Universe figures could do this. If that Riddler had only had a face like this, and really a lot of the DC Universe figures, if they could only have expression, I think they would definitely be far better figures than what they are. Riddler, iconic Riddle jumpsuit. He's got one question mark. He doesn't have them all over his body, and he's got one on the back there. But he's all green. The green is done really well. It's this pastel green, and he's got this kind of pinkish, almost like a violet, purple gloves, matching that of the belt that he's wearing as well. I just love that head sculpt. All right, I'll stop. In the way of Riddler's articulation, he has a swivel in the head. It doesn't move up and down or anything like that. Again, the pin and socket shoulders, they rotate back and forth. Bend at the elbow, rotation in... Actually, no rotation in the glove. Got ahead of myself here. He's got a rotation. Nope, none in the waist either. But he does have, yes, the back and forth legs and also the bend at the knee. So, basic articulation on all these figures. They'll all pretty much have the exact same articulation. The only one that really was missing anything was the Black Manta. He was really limited in the head. So it's funny, as disappointing as I think the Robin was here, Riddler definitely makes this set, by far. By far, Riddler makes this set. Riddler, I'm going to give him a 9.5. This is an example of a figure that is just perfect in his expression. And a good example of, again, how you can incorporate an expression into the figure and it just brings out the figure. It gives much more life to it. I know we're pretty much near the end if you count the club exclusives, but I really wish the DC Universe figures had gone this way. Just give it just a little more oomph, if you know what I mean. But anyways, today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at yet another 2-pack from the DC Direct Super Friends figures. And today we're having a look at a mediocre Robin, who apparently is gone to the library, and a very iconic, very full of life Riddler. I guess the only thing I really would have given him, aside from the fact that he's got his little device here, would have loved to have given him a Riddler cane. That would have been awesome for him to have. This doesn't even really hold it well in his hand, but I can totally forgive it because at least he's got almost even looks like a kettle, futuristic kettle. But I can totally forgive it because this is an awesome figure. Certainly stick around, guys. There are more reviews heading your way. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.